Welcome to the first Doba Studio video. Happy to see you interested in recycled plastic. So basically the whole project started when me and Magda, my girlfriend, who became my business partner, she decided to make a product in the most sustainable way. She wanted to make a watch made out of plastic waste, but more about it later. In the meantime, we've discovered Plastikowa Rewolucja workshop in Warsaw. They help us by sharing knowledge, the machines, and they introduce us to precious plastic idea, which is, well, all about plastic, the material which is all around us. They noticed how much plastic we produce each year, and it just gets more. It turns out that it's quite easy to recycle, but sadly, it isn't really happening. Most of it still ends up in the wrong place. I mean, here in a developed world, our plastic ends up stuck away in bins and containers, so we don't really see it. But there, in the developing countries, it ends up everywhere around, so it's affecting people's lives, environment, animals, everyone who lives around that area. There is enough material to work with it for decades. So it turns out the cycle of plastic is pretty complex, but this is basically the problem. There are different types of plastic. The product may look the same, but the type may be different. The guys who design the plastic machines want them to be as efficient as possible, so the machines are fast, but also complex and pretty expensive. The factories that use those efficient machines don't want to use recycled plastic. It may damage the machine or slow down the production. There is just too much risk. Our goal is to set up a small workshop which runs on local plastic waste. So we've built one nice machine provided by the people from Precious Plastic that are sharing the blueprints for the machine online, open sourced for everyone, and it helps us recycle plastic locally. It helps us create new products out of waste. We are asking people all around Edinburgh and local businesses to collect used and old plastics for us that help us clean the environment and change the perception of plastic from disposable to viable. So the machine basically injects the plastic into a mold, and it's best suited for small objects. All we need to produce new products. A wristwatch, for example. We've built the first machine, which is not perfect yet, but to push the project forward, we need to develop this one and build the rest. So you've got the space, tools, the material to make it happen. So far, we invested an incredible amount of time and resources to tackle this massive plastic problem, or at least contribute somehow. Starting from the ground up in a rented room, going to Warsaw in the weekends, doing a lot of experiments, trying to make a watch, and 2 years later we're in the studio, have some coasters and wristwatches to sell, and have a small network of people and businesses in Edinburgh willing to help. But the problem is still massive, and if we seriously want to have an impact, we will need some help. We have a plan how to do it, but we'll need two things: money and people. You can make a donation to cover the development and the material costs, or you can bring us some plastic locally in Edinburgh. Your support will help us to solve this massive problem all together. And finally, please share this around. Maybe it's not only you who wants to make a difference, it may be your friends, family, neighbors. I mean, we've got all the basic information to get started, but we just need to make sure that people know that we actually exist. You can follow our progress, see what we still need, and how to help us out. Visit dobastudio.com and let's try to fix it together.